Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the Geek Cupboard. I am Penge, and it's Sunday night, which means more Sunday night story time here in the Geek Cupboard with Tally Ho. So get that cup of tea ready, get all comfy and cosy, and we shall continue our tale. So to quickly recap what happened last time, we were introduced to Valentine, who became our apprentice of sorts. Then we arrived at Ritornello, which is Aunt Primrose's estate. We met the very excitable Mopsy. We had a bit of a to-do with Colonel Firesnuff as we tried to dispose of Figg's truly awful artwork, and we helped Rory prepare for the fox hunt that everybody is now going on. However, in the midst of all this, we were approached by Regina, the housekeeper, who told us that there was a troublemaker in the party who wants to do harm to Aunt Primrose. Oh no, so we sort of became this kind of secret agent, like an undercover agent with the codename Almighty Teapot, because why wouldn't we choose that? And now we need to find out what is going on. We need to go and talk to lots of people and just try and, get some information, get some clues, and try and figure out exactly what is happening here. Oh, and it also seems that Valentine might not actually be who she says she is. Or is she? I don't know. It's all very confusing right now. Everything is a little bit all up in the air. So a lot happened. A lot happened last time out. And now we are heading off on the hunt. So let us begin chapter 4, which is called, somewhat splendidly, A Hunting We Will Go. How lovely, says Frankincense. How wonderful to see you both. I have been looking forward to this day. I hope you haven't all been having fun without me. Oh, well, says Rory, making fumbling movements with his hands. Not at all. Glad you're here and all that. I hear that we have some interesting guests to mingle with. An Inspector Ambrose, old Colonel Firesnuff, that strange Hayes woman, and dear Mopsy, naturally. Such a shame about her and Figs, don't you think? It's so sad when true love is thwarted. Rory utters incoherently. He's sort of just making noises. How do we pronounce this? Dufgner. So he's sort of going under his breath. Okay, fine. I hear that one of the guests, the esteemed Professor of Psychology, Clarence Q. Hickory, excellent name, would not be attending. Isn't that sad? He is, of course, a very brilliant man. I think we could all stand some improving intellectual discourse. There's simply not enough of it these days, but he had some sort of incident down at the train station on the way here and has decided not to attend after all. I hope that wasn't to do with us. I don't think on the train station on the way here we had any issues. We didn't cause any problems, I don't think. I imagine we'll find out later if we did. She reaches out and smooths Cinnamon Bun's flank. Rory's horse immediately calms down and even nuzzles Frankincense a bit. What do I say? Rory whispers too. Okay, right, so Rory is kind of panicking and freaking out. Say something loving and sweet to her. Say that you are looking forward to spending some time with her. Be genial. Comment upon the weather, I murmur, knowing that Frankincense must surely desire a word of affection from Rory. Or, that is... My mouth is suddenly very dry. Okay, right, how do we deal with this? Because now we are in our kind of love triangle kind of thing. It's all a bit tricky right now. We don't really want to say this, because we want Rory. We're in love with Rory, so we don't want Rory to go and fall in love with, properly in love with Frankincense. We kind of don't want that to work from a selfish point of view. So not that. Say that you're looking forward to spending some time with her. Be genial. I mean, that's quite nice. That's sort of generic and a little bit formal. Or comment on the weather. That could be quite good, but I kind of feel like that's betraying our trust a little bit with Rory. Let's go for this one. Say that you are looking forward to spending some time with her. Be genial. So just be polite. Just be sort of formal and such. What shall I say? Genial how? All the words are flying out of my head, Rory whispers. Just note that you'll have a pleasant time and that you are glad that she could make it. That should be genial enough. Won't we have a pleasant time here at Ritornello? Rory says. Glad you could make it. That is kind of you to say so. Yes, I apologise for my delay. I was held up unexpectedly in the town square, but no matter, I am here now, and it is a treat to see you. Frankincense looks pleased by Rory's warm greeting. Oh, bother, maybe we should have gone for the other one. Rory coughs nervously. Rory, I didn't want to be quite so blunt, but I expected nothing less than a kiss. That is permitted. We are engaged. Are we? I know we are. It's just that, that is to say... Okay, right, and now we have a series of options. I mean, okay, so she wants him to give her a kiss. So we could say, in public, sir... It would be most shocking, I say. You have a bit of a cold and a sore throat, and I don't wish to infect her, I murmur, knowing this may irritate Frankincense. We should get along with the hunt, I think. There'll be time for pleasantries later. Oh, go ahead, sir, I whisper, knowing this may help unite the two of them. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We've got to play this quite cautiously. We don't really want this to work, but we don't want to be the one seen to be sabotaging it. Or... You wish to prolong the delights of wedded bliss until the time is ripe, you say softly, thinking that you may be able to put Frankincense off with a pretty lie. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that maybe we just say, let's just say this. We should get along with the hunt, I think. There will be time for pleasantries later. Again, keeping it formal, just, doing our duty here, just saying, okay, hang on a minute, you need to get on with it. So, okay, let's go for that one. Oh, right, Rory says. Sorry, Frankincense, we're on a bit of a timetable here, and we ought to head out to the hunt before long. Oh, of course, Frankincense says. Yes, I suppose we should not hold everyone up. Thank you for the reminder, Cupboard, Rory says. Yes, I suppose we will have time for that, says Frankincense happily. There is no need to rush things between us. Long, long stretches of time. Decades and decades. Oh, good, Rory says. I mean, I'd like to know how he says that. I'd love to know how he says that. I'm imagining he says that kind of like in an, oh, good. But okay, I mean, he might be going, oh, good. I don't think he is. The peacock shriek as if to comment on this emotionally fraught moment. Okay, no, he's not happy about that. Frankincense turns to Rory and then gives you a dazzling smile. Oh, Cupboard, it has been far too long since you worked for us, but not a day goes by that I don't say, oh, how smooth Cupboard made life for us. Ah, lovely smooth Cupboard. Nobody but you would notice, but as Frankincense speaks lightly of this and that, her eyes communicate a wealth of information. We've repaired the old shed back behind the house. You wouldn't recognise it now. I've missed you. Mamma finally threw out that old serving platter, the one with the vine design and the crack in the top. Remember how much we all made fun of it. Sorry. Remember how much we all made fun of it. There we go. Get my words out. Becoming engaged to Rory doesn't necessarily mean I've stopped feeling things about you. Oh my goodness me, this is all getting very complicated. And Father says he's going to sell the North Fields. Isn't that a shame? But that was in the past, and we need to bury it. I understand, you say. I understand too, Rory says, bewildered. It's really not that complicated. They're selling the North Fields. Really, Cupboard, try to keep up. I like Rory. As Frankincense talks, your mind wanders back to the day you left the service of the Signet household. Why did you have to leave their service? Okay, so, because when it became clear that Frankincense and I had fallen in love, I knew that would only cause pain to stay, the butler correctly believed that I was stealing, or my natural wanderlust had provoked me to leave. No, we weren't stealing. That's not what we do. And this one possibly... Do you want to go down that? I kind of think we should go down the top one because it just makes this whole thing even more sort of chaotic. Let's go for that. There we go. We'll go for the top one, please. You knew that it would be cruel to Frankincense to stay. She is heir to the Signet fortune. You were a valuable servant, but even the faintest whiff of something more than that would cause scandal and anger, and you would not wish that upon dear Frankincense, who needs to marry well. Frankincense's father was beginning to suspect, and you were very much encouraged to depart. She wanted you to stay, but you knew better. It was a tearful goodbye, and now here you are, together again. Oh, this is all getting very complicated. Frankincense's words shake you out of your reverie. Come, Rory, let us be off. We must catch up with the others. I particularly want to talk to your Aunt Primrose about this hunt. She promised me that it would be a new style hunt where no animals are harmed or frightened at all. Yes, we'll catch a fox and put him in a box, and then we'll let him go, Rory quips. You laugh, but it is not right. No animal will be put in a box at all. She points to the penned peacocks. To capture the creatures of nature like this makes me very angry. Yes, I have some very serious discussions to hold with your aunt. I will change her mind. I also bought my own dinner in protest of the dinner she has planned. Frankincense has become a vegetarian, Rory explains. She does not eat beef. I don't eat meat at all. But surely you eat fish, Rory says. Fish is meat, Frankincense says with fire as Rory looks quizzical. You look at Frankincense, who looks a touch annoyed. So we can then say, I too do not partake of meat. I would vote for fish being meat as well, or I don't know how you're able to resist a lovely rare steak. Wherever do you get your energy from? Okay. Oh no. Oh, this is getting very tricky. Right, okay, so I too do not partake of meat. That puts us on the side of Frankincense. So Frankincense is going to be impressed if we say that. I would vote for fish being meat as well. That's still going on the side of Frankincense, because she's saying fish is meat, but maybe not quite as passionately as this top option. Or the bottom one here is basically siding with Rory. Let's go down the middle. I would vote for fish being meat as well, because they are, it's fish meat, isn't it? So yes, absolutely, go down that one. They are... Oh, Rory, you're amazing. They are more like vegetables of the sea, Rory says. That's how I always think of it, but have it your own way. Thank you, Cupboard, Frankincense says. Aunt Primrose's... Oh, hang on, that's us. Aunt Primrose's chef does enjoy steak and coq au vin and so forth. I do hope you'll be well provided during your stay here, you say. I hope so too. I provided the chef with a detailed list of instructions and some choice ingredients to make his job a bit easier in accommodating me, Frankincense says. I just don't quite understand why you won't eat fish, though. That's the part I don't quite follow, Rory says. We've had this conversation several times already, and it is most tiresome. I am a friend to swimming things, flying things, and crawling things. There is no animal for whom I do not feel admiration. Rory here seems to feel I take my convictions too far. You knew me when I was just beginning to get involved in local politics. You know the strength of my convictions. Tell him, Cupboard, the strength of my convictions, Frankincense insists. I say you take these things just a bit too far, Rory says. Oh, always a bit of tension. This could work out well. When we are wed, there will be no meat in my house, Frankincense says. We will have a healthy, ethical household without poisons like alcohol or tobacco. They are no good for you, Rory. You are too precious to me. For me as well, Rory says. Like the stammering at the start, suddenly that information is trickling into his mind. You know the strength of my convictions. I do. Then let us ride. We have so much to talk about. We have so many plans to make for our wedding, not least of all pinning down a date. I have a number of ideas for honeymoon as well. What do you think of Venice? So romantic. Let us ride and talk. Rory looks to you, face flushed. Come with us, he whispers. Please, I don't know what's come over me, but I need you to come along. Seamus, Aunt Primrose's cantankerous and dyspeptic groom, good word, dyspeptic, leads out several white horses for you to consider. Which of these do you want? First, I've got Basket. Basket is fairly gentle, lovely curly mane and tail. Good if you don't know much about what you're doing. But between you and me, she doesn't much know what she's doing either. Bit of a dunce, that one. Then I've got Sassy Sunshine. Sassy Sunshine. Oh my goodness me, there's a horse called Sassy Sunshine. Sassy Sunshine is a headstrong charger, snorts fire. Good if you can take control of a wild thing of nature. Then you've got Old Dun Higginbottom. Old Dun Higginbottom is as mean as they come. You've got to give as good as you get with him. Those are the only choices. Yeah. Then we're taking Sassy Sunshine. Because the horse is called Sassy Sunshine. Yes, absolutely, 100%. A fine choice, I'm sure. So that one's choice of a horse says something about one's personality. That's what I hear. What are you suggesting? Well, people who try to ride Sassy Sunshine think of themselves as strong and clever. Did you say try to ride? Yes. That's an interesting turn of phrase. Well, Sassy Sunshine likes to be in charge, that's all. She needs someone she can respect. I see. Hello, Sassy Sunshine. Sassy Sunshine looks you up and down, then looks away. Oh, hang on. Is Seamus Scottish? Oh, okay. I hadn't kind of picked up on that. I mean, with the name Seamus, I maybe thought he might have an accent, but okay. That's not a great sign, Seamus says. You have to assure her that you're an unquestioned dominant force to be reckoned with. Gently, says Frankincense. I don't think you can show that you're the unquestioned dominant force to be reckoned with. Gently, says Rory. You look Sassy Sunshine in the eyes. It is a test of wills, but there are moments when you think you will surrender, but in the end, Sassy Sunshine grudgingly seems to relent, albeit in a half-hearted manner. Yes, we've tamed the horse. At that moment, Valentine, your trainee, bounces around the corner of the house. Okay, now, sort of our trainee, but is she legitimately our trainee? I don't really know. Because the letter that she had from the Cadbury Club, the fancy servant club, was apparently a fake, according to Regina, the housekeeper. But was she just tearing that up because she's nefarious and up to no good? Or is Valentine up to no good? Or is somebody at the sort of Cadbury Club up to no good? I don't know. Anyway, so Valentine's here. Hello, Valentine. Say, Cupboard, I'm going to start getting the post and snack together. I've broken some of the delicate stemware. Isn't that the most? I'm a terrible butterfigure sometimes, but it's pretty fun so far. I think I'm doing well. But Carlington says that he's this close to throwing me down a well. Would you come lend a hand? Oh, I do like her. At least she's enthusiastic. Post-hunt snack? Yes, Mrs. Patterson has given instructions that we must set out an elegant table with light music. She was most specific. She then said that there would be hell to pay if everything wasn't perfect. I said that I didn't have a tremendous amount of experience at such things, but that I'd ask you. And then she said I could ask whomever I liked, so long as the work got done. She was rather curt about it. What should you do? Okay, right, so now we might have to go back. So the plan was to go and quiz the people out on the hunt. We're going to go and do lots of talking to people. So we might possibly have to go back. I don't know. What are options? So although I told Regina that I would question the hunters, I will in fact search the rooms. Valentine will have to fend for herself for a while. I will go hunting and also judiciously interrogate the hunters as I promised Regina, while Valentine fends for herself. Although I promised Regina that I would question the hunters, Valentine needs my help. I mean, I've only just met Valentine, and Valentine has been kind of, forced upon us. We didn't ask for Valentine to come along, and we're not entirely sure of her legitimacy. So I think we'll carry on. Let's go hunting. Let's go out on the hunt and carry on as planned, because that's what we're going to do, while Valentine fends for herself. So, yeah, just try not break everything, please, Valentine. Although Valentine looks at you with pleading eyes, you made a promise to Regina. And, of course, this is important because if somebody's out to hurt Aunt Primrose, then yes, we need to sort of try and do everything we can to stop that. And Rory obviously needs you. Yeah, that's more important. I'm sorry, Valentine. Just use your best judgment for now. But you'll come help me when you're able. Perhaps, you say, and a glimmer of hope comes over Valentine's face. I appreciate it. Really, I do, Valentine says. You accept sassy sunshine from Seamus, Aunt Primrose's gnarled and crusty groom, and then set off, along with Rory and Frankincense, to catch up with the rest of the hunting party. Riding at a good pace, you head to the woods in search of the hunting party. The hunt is just getting underway. The hounds are keenly on the scent, and Aunt Primrose is excitedly hollering about not letting the fox go to ground. Cupboard! Cries Aunt Primrose as you arrive. Good of you to join us. The hunt has just begun, and will conclude in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. What would be the best thing to do now? Okay, so join Rory and Frankincense, ride next to Fire Snuff, go and have a chat with Hayes, go and have a chat with Aunt Primrose. My ears may be deceiving me, but I think I heard someone calling my name faintly within the woods. I'll go off by myself and investigate. Really? Somebody's calling a name from within the woods. I'll ride with Mopsy. I'm going to leave the hunt, go to the house and search people's rooms. I'm going to leave the hunt and find Valentine. Okay, no, let's have a chat with Aunt Primrose. I know Rory needs us, but he can cope. We're still around. Let's go and have a chat with Aunt Primrose, because she might give us some information. She might drop something into conversation. Let's go and have a chat with her. It takes some doing, but you catch up with Aunt Primrose, who's digging in her heels and shouting in a spirited way to one of the houndsmen. Hello, Mrs. Patterson, you say, riding up alongside her. Time was it you'd been run out of the club and forced turning your spurs in shame if you rode alongside someone like that, let alone talked while the hounds are working, she says, gruffly, giving you a toothy smile, adding, Yah! Presumably to her horse, but one can never be certain. I'm sorry if this is a breach of etiquette. Not to worry, this is hardly a formal hunt, but I can't keep this slow pace just to hear what you have to say. Come along if you're going to come. Hup! Yah! Aunt Primrose's horse charges forward. It already felt like you were going as fast as you possibly could, but it appears that Aunt Primrose prefers to gallop far faster, and so you match her. Leaning forward, almost standing in your stirrups, you tilt your body back and forth to anticipate the steady jolt of sassy Sunshine's movement. You jump over a 3-foot-high stump, and your body absorbs the teeth-chattering impact of the landing. What's on your mind, Cupboard? About ready to convince Rory to leave his stuffy city flat and come out here and live in God's green earth? Don't actually convince him. I like a visit fine, but I needn't have him hanging around here 7 days a week, if you know what I mean. Careful now, there's a big jump coming, some ruts in the ground as well, I fear. What is your general approach to this ride? I go as fast as possible to demonstrate my fearless nature. I pay most attention to proper form, even though I give up some speed to demonstrate my adherence to the traditions of hunting, or I shout and use the spurs a good deal to demonstrate my high spirits. No, we're going to go decorum. That is what we do. That is what we're sort of here for. We are maintaining our decorum because we are a fancy butler-servanty type. It's not that Sassy Sunshine doesn't care about good form. It's just that she wants to go fast, and it is very hard to convince her otherwise, but you insist upon style, not simply velocity. Slow and steady, after all, wins the race, you say encouragingly to Sassy Sunshine, hoping that a touch of Aesop's fable will inspire her. Sassy Sunshine is good at many things, but an appreciation for the lessons of the Greek classics is not one of them. She resists your attempt to make her adhere to anything approaching proper form, and she tries to scrape you off on a passing tree, to Aunt Primrose's amusement. You do it like this, Cupboard, says an annoyed Aunt Primrose. Yah, Sassy Sunshine, come on, girl. Sassy Sunshine reluctantly heeds Aunt Primrose's loud command and gallops along next to Aunt Primrose, giving you the clear message that she does it only to please Aunt Primrose and not you at all. Okay, right, so we're not entirely 100% in control of the horse. Okay, you ride with Aunt Primrose for a little while, talking of small matters. So what's really on your mind, Cupboard? Spit it out, Aunt Primrose calls. As you speak, she intersperses numerous calls such as "warehole" and "trappy ground," and occasionally "hulloa." Sounds like she's lost her mind. What would you like to talk about with Aunt Primrose? Okay, so improve Aunt Primrose's impression of figs, sway Aunt Primrose's opinion of Rory and Frankincense's approaching marriage, or learn more about Hayes. Okay, we don't want to do this. We don't want her to agree to Rory and Frankincense's wedding. That'd be a terrible idea. Aunt Primrose's impression of figs. That could be a good thing to do. Or learn more about Hayes. I think we're going to talk to Hayes and learn more about Hayes. Let's try and improve Aunt Primrose's impression of figs. Because then, that might end up with a nice sort of happy ending for Mopsy or whatever. Let's go for that one. But I'd like to say a few words, if I may, on behalf of the gentleman who goes by the amusing name of Figs. You say, oh, do go on, this should be most amusing. I make up a story about how he is reforming himself. I argue that he is an artistic genius. I stress how much in love with Mopsy he is, although this is a dangerous angle to take. Let's say that he's reforming himself, because she might like that. She might actually go for that. I mean, I'm tempted to go for this one. I'm tempted to go for this. I stress how much in love with Mopsy he is, although this is a dangerous angle to take. Because she could just go, well, it's nonsense. I don't care how much in love he is with her. I'm not having it. And it might backfire. Let's make up a little story. Let's do that one. We'll play it safe. He wishes to make amends to you. I saw him not long ago, and he told me that he regrets your impression of him, and that he has been attending a sort of finishing school for gentlemen to sand down his rough edges. Or to please you, Mrs. Patterson. He was weeping openly when last I saw him. That's quite a story. What is this finishing school called? It's called, Trees and Horses Academy, you say, wincing inwardly. Is anything you said true? Much of it? I see how it is. I feel more certain than ever that Figs distrusts me. Oh no, hang on. I feel more certain than ever that Figs distrusts me. I do not want him near Mopsy. On this I am certain. Now let us end our conversation. I need to focus on the hunt. That went horribly, painfully wrong. Okay. Right. The hunt's excitement is mounting. The hounds have started to manoeuvre the fox into my open ground, and it seems that soon it will have nowhere to hide or retreat. The hunt will conclude in about 2 hours. What would be the next best thing to do? Right, so it looks like each one of these events takes about half an hour-ish. Let's have a chat with Rory and Frankincense. Let's try and sort this out, shall we? Before we miss the chance, let's try and sort of maybe, just sort of make it a little bit more fractious, possibly. Let's try and do that. Rory and Frankincense ride together, but you can see that Rory looks anxious and Frankincense seems vaguely annoyed. This is wonderful. This is excellent news. Clearly they are not getting along quite as well as they might. I'm glad you're here, Cupboard, says Rory, with some relief in his face. We're just having a spirited conversation that you may be able to shed some light on. They seem to be discussing whether or not the exotic animal judging at the Harvest Festival is ethical or not. Frankincense strongly believes that the competition ought to be eliminated entirely, whilst Rory is unsure. Frankincense is explaining that while the fox in this fox hunt has been carefully selected to be one that enjoys running about, and is good friends with the hounds, and will not in any way be harmed in this hunt, the animals at the Harvest Festival are less privileged. They both turn to you, and you instantly sense the precariousness of the moment. With a highly effective conversational gambit, you might be able to sway the very course of their relationship in a manner of your choosing, but with less than delicate touch, it could backfire. It would be less risky but less effective to simply agree with one of them. What would be the best approach at this juncture? Oh my goodness me. I kind of feel like a lot is resting on this. Okay, I help to ease the conversation between them, helping them fall in love. No, not that one. We can't do that because that leaves us out in the cold and it's all very sad. I provoke a conversation likely to cause serious friction between them. I offer support to Rory to bolster his confidence, even though that may annoy Frankincense. I suggest that Rory ought to listen to Frankincense's very good points, even though there is a chance that could annoy Rory if not delicately put. Oh, okay. We're not doing this one. It's more likely to be one of the bottom three, so let's just move it off that one. I provoke a conversation likely to cause serious friction between them. Now that could be quite good. That could be quite good. Because they're falling out over something which they've already been discussing. We're not, we haven't introduced this topic to them. So we're just sort of putting our thoughts in, and then maybe they're going to fall out, and they'll, it's kind of hard to pinpoint blame on us, is what I'm trying to sort of say there. I think we might go for that. Let's go for that and cause some trouble. Well, I suppose we could offer support to Rory, because Rory is the object of our desires, really. And we're trying to do things gently, but maybe if that might annoy Frankincense. Let's do that. Let's support Rory. Although no, we're going for this one. Oh, I'm dithering. Dither. No, there we go. Let's cause serious friction between them, and we'll just try and not take a side. Let's give that a go, shall we? You clear your throat meaningfully, and then they look up at you. It sounds to me like you both have many good points to make, you say. There is both right and wrong, on both sides. There are little to no wrong parts of my side, Frankincense says. Nonsense, you say. Surely you must admit the exotic animal judging is great fun. Actually, I wouldn't say it's great fun, Rory says, and Frankincense lifts her head in uncertain hope. You don't like the exotic animal judging, she says. No, I much prefer the candy floss and the fun house and that sort of thing. It's all right. You look at a few animals, vote on your favourite and move along. It could be replaced with a dart-throwing stand, and that'll be just fine. This is getting out of control, but you aren't sure how to stop this lack of argument. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's gone horribly wrong. It's completely backfired. This has gone wrong. And so you, in principle, do not care to see the peacocks and the exotic animal judging, Frankincense asks, voice nearly a whisper. I don't feel particularly strongly about it. They are riding closer and closer together, and then they take each other's hands. You are our magic charm, Frankincense says to you. I don't know what it is, but you arrived and somehow everything we were arguing about wafted away like a vapour. Bother. Okay, no, that wasn't supposed to happen at all. It's a disaster. The two of them smile at each other, and you drop back for a moment in consternation. The hunter's cries nearly drown out the hound's barks as the fox has been flushed out of all hiding holes, and it's running from the hounds. The hunt is in full chase, and the welkin rings with the sound of it. I don't know what that means, but okay. The hunt will conclude in about 1 hour and 30 minutes. What would be the next best thing to do? I mean, that was a disaster. That was a disaster. We were supposed to cause friction, not bring them together. Oh, dearie me. Okay, so now what do we do? Fire snuff, haze. Let's go into the woods. This is intriguing. Somebody's calling my name faintly within the woods. Who is this? Are we going mad or what? I don't know. This is intriguing. Let's do this. So yeah, who is this exactly? You lag behind until the hunting party has passed you by, and then attempt to locate where you heard someone calling your name. You ride off the trail and into the rougher woods, picking out the easiest path, past large fallen branches and startling some squirrels attempting to hoard away a few more acorns for the coming winter. Eventually, you hit the high wall that surrounds Aunt Primrose's property, and you circle around, listening. Cupboard! There, you ride forward for a bit. I'm here, Cupboard! Is that you, Figs? Where are you? Oh, Figs is here. I'm on the other side of the wall. Obviously, I can't fly over the wall on the wings of love. I wish I could. I tried to climb it and split my sit-down-upons, if you'll excuse the expression. How did you know I was here? I heard Rory boom out your name and then you joined them. He has rather a carrying voice. You spy a small chink in the wall, dismount and put your eye to the small hole. You see another eye looking back at you. That's me, says Figs. Yes, I understand the nature of the situation, you say. Did you hang my painting? Were you able to do that small service for me and Mopsy? Oh dear. Okay, right, okay, so we can say absolutely, don't give it a second thought, I say. Obviously, blatantly lying. Let's just say I put it where it will earn you a good deal of respect. Oh my goodness me. I'm tempted, just for the pun. Figs, I would really seriously consider where the life of an artist is for you. I really must get back to the hunt, Figs. Perhaps we could discuss matters of art at a later date. We're going to go for the pun. Let's go for the pun, because I can't resist the pun. There we go. Oh, good, Figs says. Why do you emphasise earn in that way? Did I emphasise it? I don't think I did. Is it near the other paintings? Right there among them? It is in the proximity of other art. Very close. Good. Although there's something in your tone that makes me feel you are being arch? Arch? I don't know. Sarcastic, possibly? It is difficult to gauge tone of one's voice and facial expression through a chink in a wall, sir. Very good. Yeah, very well. Good. It gladdens my heart to think of my painting doing its work in my absence. If that is all, sir, you say. Just one thing, Cupboard. Tell Mopsy that all is prepared. All is prepared? Yes, and then kiss her dewy brow for me. Okay, right, he's obsessed with that. Dewy means sweaty, doesn't he? I don't want to kiss her sweaty brow. All right, then, I'll kiss her on your behalf if it means so much to you. I'm afraid that I must draw the line here, sir. I don't wish to kiss Mopsy's dewy brow at this time. I will, however, deliver your message. I fear I can neither kiss anyone's dewy brow nor deliver your message. No, I'll deliver the message. I just won't kiss her on her sweaty forehead. You won't kiss her for me? I will not. Not even to lift the spirits of a man dying for lost love. Not even in the situation you describe, sir. I will have to settle for my message being delivered then. But you ought to try to imbibe a bit of the milk of human kindness, Cupboard. Figs departs. You remount your steed and ride off into the hunting party, which you find after a bit of searching. The hunt passes through some rough ground at high speed. The uneven ground, down branches and ruts in the earth make for a challenging ride at high speed as the conclusion of the hunt approaches. The hunt will conclude in about 1 hour. What do we do now? Okay, so what have we got? Fire snuff, haze, talk to Rory alone, talk to Frankincense alone, ride with Mopsy. Well, let's ride with Mopsy. Oh, hang on. I deliver Figs' message to Mopsy. It takes a mere moment. Okay, yeah, let's do that. That makes sense. Psst, Mopsy, you say, come close. She leans over to hear what you have to say. Figs has a message for you. He says, all is prepared. Her eyes widen dramatically. You've seen him? In a manner of speaking. How is he? Does he look wan and wraith-like, so consumed he is by our mutual and unresolved love? It was difficult to tell. So all is prepared then. She gets a conniving look on her face, which then transmutes into the positively angelic. Did you have anything else to say to me? No, that is all. I appreciate your telling me. Now we can set the plans in motion. What plans are these? I'll tell you when the time is right. There are wheels within wheels. Oh, wheelie, wheelie. What would be the next best thing to do? Right, so we still have an hour. So we can do 2 more things. I'd like to talk to Rory alone to try and undo some of the damage, as we would see it, that we just did there. We can't do any of those bottom ones there. I think we'll be fine. I mean, fire snuff or haze? I'm a little bit more suspicious of fire snuff. He doesn't like us, but I can't see him being a troublemaker. Or maybe that's it. Maybe that's the perfect disguise. Just this old sort of bluff and blustery kind of colonel military chappy could be the perfect disguise because no one would suspect him because, you know, he's part of the furniture around here by the sounds of it. Yeah, let's talk to Colonel Firesnuff. Although Hayes does want me to go and talk to her. But no, let's go and ride with Firesnuff for a bit. You approach Colonel Firesnuff, who has paused at the side of the trail, arguing with 3 of the houndsmen about sheep, and whether it is better to have a flock of horned sheep or non-horned sheep. Colonel Firesnuff is on the side of the argument that horned sheep are far superior. There is no one on the other side of the argument. Okay. You wait for a little while as Colonel Firesnuff rides back and forth in front of the houndsman, talking about whether or not Dorset sheep are avid grazers. He does not seem to be slowing down at all. If anything, he appears to be gathering steam. What should you do? Okay, I will let him finish. It will waste time, but I don't want to risk him blowing up at me for interrupting. I imply to Colonel Firesnuff that I have secretive business to present to him, and that the safety of the nation may be at stake. I ride over to the houndsman and slip them some money if they just run off right now. 15 monies, 15 readies. I mean, I don't really want to waste the time. I mean, okay, we'll imply to him that we have secretive business to present to him and that the safety of the nation is at stake. He might insult us. He doesn't like us anyway, but it's the fun option to do. Let's do that one, shall we? You ride up to Colonel Firesnuff. Urgent matters, Colonel, you whisper. Eh, what? I bear matters of import. Dispatches from the front, so to speak. Request denied, Colonel Firesnuff cries. I'm not in need of intelligence at the moment. I'm discussing sheep. But the fate of, I will be here for quite some time, it occurs to me. Submit your intelligence in writing via the proper channels. Dismissed. Colonel, dismissed? Do you have wax in your ears? And Colonel Firesnuff turns away from you, unwilling to hear another word. The 3 houndsmen look very upset that the lecture on sheep is going to continue, but you have no rescue to afford them. Oh, this didn't work at all, did it? You ride back to the others. The dogs examine some recent spoor and then bark at length in an almost mournful tone, as if knowing that the hunt will soon be done. The hunt will conclude in about 20 minutes. What do we do? Okay, so we can either go back to Firesnuff again. I think that was a bit of a lost cause, wasn't it? That was a lost opportunity there. That did not work at all. Maybe we should have used our money to just make the other people go away. Because, yeah, that did not work. We got nothing out of that, apart from maybe we just annoyed him a bit. Which is good, because I think he's a bit of a silly chap. So, okay, never mind. That didn't work. So we won't do that. Go and ride with Hayes. Yeah, we're going to talk to Rory. Let's go and talk to Rory alone. Let's see if we can try and make him like us a bit more again. You catch up with Rory, persuading Sassy Sunshine to ride alongside him. Frankincense has ridden forward a bit and is talking to Mopsy, giving you and Rory a bit of time to talk alone. This is exhausting, Cupboard. We do not have much. We not much have the opportunity for such vigorous physical exercise in London, sir. Oh, yes, that's true. My person will be sore for days, I imagine, but that's not what I meant. It's emotionally and mentally exhausting, being with all these people and having to put on a face, if you know what I mean. How do you do? And oh, really, all the livelong day. You miss your domestic comforts? I do. Beslippered feet on the ottoman, with the morning paper and a hot beverage emitting steam into the cool morning air, the peace of the morning, or rather, the early afternoon, washing over me. Okay, so I offer some supportive words. I note how much Rory is suffering. I point out how little time has passed. I mean, let's note how he's suffering, because that might make him sort of realise that we're being sympathetic to his cause. I can see that you are under considerable mental strain, sir. Is it that obvious? I'm afraid so. Well, you are not wrong, Cupboard. I can hide nothing from you. Yes, I'm not having one of my best days. My best days usually involve something on the order of a rousing game of billiards and a frankfurter sandwich. Today has had neither. Well, that sounds amazing. A rousing game of billiards and a frankfurter sandwich. Good grief. Aunt Primrose, hang back to wait for everyone else, catches the end of this expression of dismay and pshaws loudly. Poor Rory, having to eat the finest my table can offer. Are you both quite done maligning me? This is the gratitude you offer me. I didn't mean anything by it, Auntie, Rory protests, but she rides away with a wave and a grin, and the merest acknowledgement of his words. You see how put on I am, cupboard. She was smiling, but there was an iron... Oh, hang on. She was smiling, but there was an iron fist beneath the velvet glove. The iron fist, sir. What's that? The iron fist beneath the velvet glove. That expression makes much more sense now. Does it? I don't know what that means. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. An iron fish beneath a velvet glove. So the velvet glove looks soft, but there's an iron fish underneath, which is obviously going to hit hard if you were to slap somebody with it. Is that what that means? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, right, we've gone into some sort of weird world about fish that are made of metal. Okay, right, let's just carry on. You and Rory hang way back, begin taking up the rear of the hunt. The roar of the horses dies down, and the din of the hounds fades. It's just the two of you now, riding together through falling leaves. Okay, here's our chance. Here's the chance. You and Rory ride quietly next to each other for a while. The late autumn afternoon has that distinctive smell of aging leaves and the promise of snow to come in a few months. A few leaves crunch under sassy sunshine's hooves as you ride along. Finally, Rory clears his throat. You know, cupboard, I'm sure you have a lot to do. You are busy on my behalf here, there and everywhere. I don't want to hold you up, and we probably have 101 things to talk about. My mind is filled with worries about money and frankincense and keeping Aunt Primrose happy and poor Mopsy and figs. He shrugs. But riding out here, all of that just seems like a bunch of nonsense. I don't know that I care to think about any of it at all. I don't want to talk about anything serious. What would you say if I asked you if you'd be willing to just ride here with me, in the back of the pack, quietly, and not say one word about anything serious? Even as I ask you, I know that you can't. You are terribly busy. Okay, so we can say, that is what I want too, sir. I wish I could, but I fear I need to depart. I'm working on several things on your behalf, or I would very much like to ride with you, but please allow me to fetch Frankincense and have her quietly ride with us too. No, not that. I'm working on several things on your behalf. I mean, we are working on some stuff, but it's more for Aunt Primrose. Yeah, we're gonna go with what he says, because it's what he's asked us to do. He is he's our master, I suppose, and yeah, we want to get him back in our good books. We want to drive that wedge between him and Frankincense. So yes, we'll do that. Good, Rory says. Now let's ride. As you canter through the woods together, you do not speak, and you do not need to. Rory looks splendid, gilded by the lowering sun, and allowing his thoughts to melt away for a moment, just enjoying the light and the air. Rory keeps turning to look at you, and then remembers that your goal is to refrain from talking about anything, and settles down again, but it keeps happening. Sir? Nothing, Rory says. Yes? Nothing. One moment, let us stop. I need to rest my aching muscles for a bit. You come to a stop, and Rory rubs the back of his neck. Are you looking forward to... Oh, no, that's me, sorry. Are you looking forward to dinner tonight, sir? I hear that there will be millefeuille. Oh, that word's come up before on the channel, hasn't it? Was it in chef or something? Millefeuille. I've horribly pronounced that. Sorry, everybody. These type of pastries. A brown leaf and a twig has stuck in Rory's hair. I've worked up an appetite like none other. I will eat more than my share, I can assure you. Okay, right. So now we have to deal with a leaf and a twig in Rory's lovely, lovely silken hair. Ignore it. Tell Rory about it. Brush the leaf and twig off, or brush the leaf and twig off, and then brush your lips against his. We'll brush the leaf and the twig off. We will not be too forward quite yet. We'll again be a little bit more forward, but we won't just go in for a full-on kind of passionate thing. Brush the leaf and the twig off. You reach out and brush off the leaf. The twig takes a bit of untangling, and you gently coax it out of his hair so that it doesn't snag. Extracting it, you let it fall, and as it falls, Rory turns to look at you from inches away. The twig falls, and something inside you falls as well. Oh no. Your heart must be audible to him. You had something in your hair, sir. I thank you, cupboard. Thank you for caring about me so deeply. This moment is like a bite of very dark, very fine chocolate, which partakes at first of a faint bitterness, which then mellows into a subtle sweetness. But the sweetness would not be sweet without the bitterness. Okay, so we're sort of realising our position here, that maybe he does like us a little bit, but we have these kind of social conventions in place, which means that he could never be seen fraternising with a lowly servant like me. Okay, we can change that. We can absolutely work on that. Together you ride and talk of pastries and espresso. Okay, a little bit disappointed. Hang on, we'll change that to tea. We'll pretend it says a lovely cup of Earl Grey or something. Together you ride and talk of a lovely cup of Earl Grey and what sort of circus acts are the most amusing and what countries you would like to visit someday. The conversation is light and relaxing, and by the time you rejoin the group, Rory is actually smiling. Thank you, Cupboard. That meant a good deal to me. You are worth your weight in gold. I'm happy to please, sir. The hunting party is returning from the hunt now, headed back to Ritornello for some well-deserved rest and refreshments. The atmosphere is merry, and a passing zephyr. Oh, good word. That's like a sort of wind current, isn't it? That's very exciting. I haven't seen the word zephyr in ages. A passing zephyr wafts some russet leaves off the trees, an impromptu shower of foliage. You and the rest of the hunting party approach the house, the hunt now concluded. You all head to the back of the house, where Valentine and the other servants stand at attention by an assortment of hot beverages and dainties to tide everyone over until dinner is served. Okay, right. What is the state of this, given that Valentine's been involved? So 20 minutes later, the party... Oh no. Because we left Valentine to do it, it's gone wrong. The party is a complete wreck, and everyone stands around the mess, trying to muster up some enthusiasm. But I say, does anyone know any good jokes? Rory says. Here's one. So this one fellow says to a second fellow, we'll call the second fellow Arthur and the first fellow James. He says, are you the house painter? And this really is a corking one. Arthur says, yes, I am. Hang on, I think I told it backwards. The first fellow should be Arthur. As I was saying, interrupts Aunt Primrose, I am having some backup hot toddies and hot cocoa made so we can recover some semblance of festivity. She a good deal, so she's kind of going kind of thing like that. Oh dear. You feel a tap on your shoulder. It is Regina Wilhelmina, and she's holding a clipboard. How do you do, almighty teapot, she whispers. She leads you by the elbow to a more secluded location at the side of the house. What do you have to report, almighty teapot? Quickly, give me a brief outline. Okay, so I described my encounter with Figs and the message he wanted me to pass to Mopsy, or I have nothing to report. I mean, we could do that. We can tell her that, about Figs, because there is something a bit weird going on there. I don't know what is going on there with Figs and Mopsy. I mean, are they planning to do something nefarious? I mean, Figs could be some sort of criminal mastermind, masquerading as this sort of bumbling, kind of failing artist. He might be some sort of super brain, I don't know. Do you know what? We'll maybe dob them a little bit, but that's fine. There we go. He wanted me to tell her that all is prepared, you say. That's rather ominous, Regina says. But what is all and what is prepared? Those are the two main questions that the phrase evokes. But how can you be certain it was Figs? Well, it sounded like him, and he said things Figs would say. We must be vigilant about such things, Regina says. I fear now there may be more than one plot directed at Ritornello. Almighty teapot, what else did you find? That was it, really, because we had a bit of a rubbish time. Things did not go entirely according to plan on that hunt. It was not very successful. Those are all the fruits of my labour. Well, that's some information to work with. Something is better than nothing. She writes for a while on the form on her clipboard and draws an X or two. It is at this moment that the window opens above you, and Inspector Ambrose, wearing a deerstalker hat, of course, what else would he be wearing, casually leans out. Inspector Ambrose, you say? Yes, it is I. I can't remember what voice did I do from last time. I don't know, probably like a posh... I know, he was like this, wasn't he? He was like this, wasn't he? Yes, it is I. That was a very interesting conversation you and Regina Wilhelmina just had. What's that name she called you? Almighty Teapot, was it? He flips through his clues book. We have Almighty Teapot, we have Cupboard, and we have Penge. So many names. So many identities. Those last two are my first and last names. Of course they are, he says with amusement. I don't doubt you. Can you clarify the meaning of the conversation that I just happened to overhear? Okay, we're having a highly appropriate conversation regarding the proper thread count for linen tablecloth. Thank you very much, Inspector. All is as it should be. Regina and I were discussing what we did this afternoon. That's all. You look at Inspector Ambrose with an open, honest face. Discussing the weather, or she was discussing the initiation ritual of a secret society. Not go down that one. Although you might just laugh at that and go, you crazy people. Let's go for... I mean, I'd like to think we're quite believable. Or should we tell him we're talking about the thread count for linen tablecloths? Because, that's the kind of thing that maybe servanty people might do. Let's go for that one. No doubt you were, Ambrose says. Thread count is very important. It is, you say. I do not disagree. One must take care when one weaves fine cloth, or when one weaves a lie. I do not say you lie. I merely say that people lie. You offer Inspector Ambrose an innocent look. Inspector Ambrose taps his chin thoughtfully. All right, Cupboard, I'll let you go for now, but I'm watching you. There shall be a reckoning sooner or later. And he closes the door, closes the window. Okay. I mean, his accent might have changed possibly. I can't remember what I did last time. I imagine him to be like this, like an old London kind of copper type person. But there you go. Then that's what he sounds like now. As you return to the celebration, you see Aunt Primrose sitting together with Rory, deep in conversation. You can see that Aunt Primrose is giving Rory a thorough talking to and mincing no words. Oh no. Then Rory and Frankincense excuse themselves from the party, heading for a quiet spot to talk in private by the fountain. Clearly, they are about to come to a decision. As they go, they pass directly in front of you. As they pass, you reach out and make a minute adjustment to Rory's outfit, stand respectfully at attention, or turn away from them. No, let's interrupt. Let's fiddle about with Rory's outfit. If you'll permit me, sir, you whisper, making a small adjustment to help Rory appear just a bit more elegant. I wonder what they'll decide, Mopsy says, standing behind you, wondering what you would guess is a fourth hot toddy. Yes, you say. That'll be me and Figs before long, Mopsy remarks, gesturing to Rory and Frankincense in the distance and sloshing some of her hot toddy on the ground without noticing. Indeed, tonight. You turn to Mopsy. Tonight? Oh yes, because you'll be smuggling him in to Ritornello. Dun dun dun! Next chapter. Oh my goodness me. So chapter 5, dinner is served. There we go. Now yeah, that didn't go entirely according to plan. I think we made we made the decisions we made, but some of them did not go entirely as expected. So yes, we let ourselves down a bit there by trying to sort of, put a wedge between Frankincense and Rory and actually brought them a bit closer together, which is somewhat unfortunate. And then we tried to talk to Aunt Primrose about Figs, and that didn't work either. And then, yes, we tried to talk to Colonel Firesnuff, which turned out to be a huge waste of time because we didn't get anything from him at all. And we could have used that time talking to somebody else. So it didn't go entirely according to plan. But do you know what? It is what it is. That's what these are about. You make your decisions and then things progress from that. Maybe from one of those things we did, something in the background has started that will come to fruition later on in this chapter or toward the end or whatever. And that's what I like about these. But there we go. Right, and actually, you know what, actually? We did actually sort of try and redeem ourselves a little bit with Rory. We did have a nice sort of ride along in the choir, and we got that twig and the leaf out of his hair and such like, and we shared a bit of a moment, I'd like to think. I think we had a bit of a moment. So yeah, there we go. There we go. So now, Mopsy wants us to smuggle Figs in, because he's outside. He's just sort of lurking around outside the walls of the estate. Okay. Fine. Well, there we go. That's certainly a thing that's going to be happening. Right, so chapter 5 is dinner is served, and we shall come to that next time, obviously. But yeah, this is very intriguing. The story progresses, and it's still equally as silly as it always has been, and I'm loving it very much indeed. So yes, we'll see how we get on next time with chapter 5, but we shall finish things up for now. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. If you have, please do leave a like. That would be most marvellous indeed. And also, if you are not already, then please do subscribe to keep up to date with how we get on here next time out in Tally-ho. But for now, thank you very much for joining me in the Geek Cupboard, and I will see you next time. Move out of the way, friend. I'm going to completely ignore you and do some comment moderating. Kung Fu Croquet. Maria, you've broken my heart. There you go, some more flowers that I stored on the back of my pants. Lovely. There we go. As you can see, I'm having the wildest of times. Enormous banana massacre.